decided we're going to change this door that I just installed. We now want to, we were originally going to put a screen door in front, but we really like the look of this, so we want to keep this. So what we decided to do was make this an out-swinging door instead. And then we're going to get one of those magnetic screen things like on the inside, so you're going to have the door wide open and get a lot of good airflow. So I have to move this door from an in-swing door now to an out-swing door. So basically I have to take apart everything I did, put this door on, and start over again. So I'll just do all that and then remove the door. Oh, try to do this gently. Like that. Both lined up. One, two, okay. Difficult than I had anticipated. I think I need to just remove the entire door frame and start over, because the door, the hinge on the bottom is closing really tight against itself, and the door and the hinge on the top is not. So we've got a nasty twist in there somewhere that I just need to figure out. I can't really see an easy way to do it except for just starting over again. So I guess I'm going to start over again. Who ever would have thought moving a door from here to here could be so difficult? So basically I've just rebuilt this entire frame, moved the door, adjusted the hinges 7 times, and now finally the door closes and it's even all the way around. So now I have to switch this around, cut a new hole for the strike plate, and put the trim back on, and it should be done.
And why did you do all that?
Because you want one of those magnetic screens.
Oh, I want it.
Screws out. Pull that out. Flip it around. Put that back in there. There it goes, finally. So it would probably be easier if I got a proper screwdriver too, but why would I do that? There. Turned around. Okay. Right there. Now, this has to go in a very bad spot. I need a battery. Okay, all I did, the strike plate was too tight like this. So I just carved out a little bit with the chisel, just so the strike plate sits back in like that. Here's a quick little tip. If you're doing this kind of stuff, don't run your chisel so it's pushing inwards. Flip it over this way. And you have much more control because your chisel won't dig in. That's my tip of the day. All right. That looks really good. That's beautiful. That. So the door has officially been moved. I'm not done yet. I have to put the door stop back on the inside, trim across the top. Are we going out to the garden, Cutter? Are you going to carry the pail for me? You're such a good boy. In the garden. Good job. Don't chew it. Good job, Cutter. What a good boy. You are such a good boy. As you can see, the beans are doing fantastic. The bush beans are just starting to get their second bunch of flowers. There's nothing really left on there. So I might just pull them out. But I need to pick these crazy beans. They're getting really tall. Would you like a bean, Cutter? My tomatoes are definitely getting nice and ripe. So, I'm just pulling the flowers off the basil right now. So, I'm going to pull a bunch of these tomatoes, take them in, get them in the freezer till it's time to make sauce. Ooh, there's plenty. I don't think you'll like a tomato, Cutter. You might, but I don't know. There, that looks like it for now. I'll just get these, take the skins off, and get them all chopped up and thrown in the freezer. We were away again for a week and came back to a ready to harvest potato crop. My strawberries are actually sending runners out into the red potato area. But we've harvested some already, just for fresh eating. But today I'm going to harvest the rest of the potatoes. It's been quite wet, so they'll be probably pretty good and dirty. Harvested kind of all around the outside edge here, so we're going to just start right here and see what we get. Decent potato. Oh, look at that. Look at those. Beautiful. Beautiful. Knock some of the dirt off. Now, red potatoes. Oh, look at that. Those are pretty already. What do you do with your strawberry runners when they're all running into your potatoes? Those beautiful little potatoes. Perfect. Look at that one. It's got a little extra potato. Oh, I skewered that one good. There, I think that's it for the potatoes. Not a huge crop, but I didn't plant it for a huge crop. Not a lot of potatoes, but enough for what we need for now. I think that's going to pull my bush beans. I'm getting a few on here yet, but I think I'm just going to pull them now. Because the pole beans are doing really well. I'm getting lots of beans in the freezer for that. So I think I'm just going to pull these and just work on the pole beans instead. That'll make it a lot easier to get up in here to pick up the beans too. I'm gonna harvest my kale. Some of it's no good anymore, but a lot of it is still good. We don't need that much. We just do the old Dutch recipe where we pulverize it all in the food processor and mash it in the potatoes. Delicious. I could put it all in the freezer. And it reminds me of priming tobacco. Yeah, so I'll just cut the stems out, chop it into smaller pieces, and then throw it in the food processor. Pulverize it till they're little small pieces and just bag them up. No blanching required. And just throw them in the freezer that way. So my onions, lots and lots of green. No onions. I'll pull this one out. Oops. That's what I've got. Lots and lots of green onions, but no actual onion bulbs. I don't know if I've got too much nitrogen. Leek are looking really good. Got some nice fat ones in here. Some are thinner, but they're buried. They're probably 10 inches deep in the ground here. So they'll be really nice, I think. We'll just cut those and chop them up and put them in the freezer as well for leek soup and pea soup and all those yummy things. Unfortunately, I've had a terrible slug problem. Like, here's a nice little tomato, but it's been chewed up by slugs. And there's more tomatoes that have chewed spots than not. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Try to salvage some of these or not. But aside from the slugs, yeah, this would have been a fantastic tomato harvest. And my peppers, I put the copper ring, just some old pieces of wire that we had left over from the build, put them around the base, and that really helped keep the slugs off. There's still a few getting in there. I'm not sure how, but they're getting in there. But look at the peppers I'm getting now. Like I've got probably 15 peppers in here that are coming, finally. So I'm actually gonna get some peppers this year. So that's kind of exciting, really. Carrots, they are doing well as usual. I didn't thin them enough, I don't think. So I think we're gonna have some very skinny carrots this year. Like I'm just looking in there, they're gonna be pretty skinny, I think, but they're just for fresh. I don't think I'm gonna be freezing any, and I'm gonna store them the same way I did last year in that big cooler with the shavings. But I think last year I made the shavings a little bit too wet, so I'm just going to put minimal amounts of water in, if any at all, and yeah, hopefully it works as well as it did last year. It was great. And my cucumbers, these are pickling cucumbers. I've got all my pickles done, so these things are just kind of sitting here. Look at that funky little fella. They've just been sitting here growing more pickles all the time. I keep picking them, but I mean, we can only eat so many cucumbers, right? And here in the strawberries, pulled all the potatoes out, snatched some runners off of these original plants that I had, and I just planted them out through here. I think I'm eventually, eventually I think I'm going to fill this whole thing with strawberries. My daughter has some everbearing, so I think we're going to end up, eventually these will just get all pulled out, or I'll get rid of them, whatever, sell them, give them away, and throw in some everbearing in here instead. And the raspberry patch is, the fall berries are just starting. There's a couple up here. We've eaten a few already, but they are quite prolific. I'm hoping that the season's going to go long enough that we actually get some berries for the fall. We didn't get a lot in the spring crop, but I think next year we're going to have plenty of berries. Now that the bed is established and I put plenty of manure on it, the bees are just buzzing away in here, which is awesome. What is it, Cutter?
Oh, did he get stung?
Did you get stung, bud?
How did he get stung? They're not stinging, are they?
Well, maybe they felt threatened by his barking.
Oh, buddy, did they get you? Huh?
They're very active. They stung you, didn't they? Get you a little warning there.